Hello and welcome back to Softcore History. I'm a guest on the show, I guess.
Who's
now.
that? Who's there?
The Bulls are back in town.
Oh, man, you don't even understand how funny it is you chose that song.
My-
Because it haunted his entire bachelor party weekend.
Yeah, Joe Nullett played the song, I would have to imagine, at least 150 times.
I actually know that reference despite not being on the bachelor party
Yeah,
that I was not invited to. Or the wedding that I was not invited to.
sorry.
Well, you were invited to my bachelor party.
You didn't go.
Didn't go.
I was poor at that point.
Hmm.
I also went to your wedding with $10 in my bank account.
That was pretty fun, though. That led to some good stories.
It was great, yeah.
Some for another time.
I almost overdrafted my account with the parking situation. But then thankfully Boosh covered it and then
Got robbed.
proceeded to get robbed.
Got robbed right now.
Man, a lot of people lost their wallets that weekend.
Oh,
like
man.
literally at least 5 people. Lost. I think Andrew Adams lost everything because I saw him at the airport having to like go through security.
They had to like verify his
Oh
identity.
my god, yeah.
That's
They had to
what
verify like 5 addresses ago and shit. My buddy Trevor lost his shit and accused a little black kid of stealing it, but then they found it. He just left it on the bar.
And then the little black kid was like, "So,
Yeah, but
Yeah, he actually chased him down the street
he did.
did he really?"
He chased. Yeah,
with
he
a
was
weapon
like,
in
"Hey,
hand.
you bucket drummer, get back here!"
Pulled a
Those
John
bucket drummers
Fetterman.
are so crafty. How can they drum on the buckets and steal your wallet
I
at the
know.
same time?
And then there was Boosh. There's my buddy Denny, who was the best man. I mean, it was a lot. There was a lot of people who like literally just became destitute over the weekend.
I can't imagine a worse city to lose your wallet in.
No.
Ugh.
Oh, actually, is it the worst city or is it the best city? Because that's the city you can immediately start prostituting yourself in.
That's true. It's way more loose morally, and
And I think Fort Worth would be a bad city to lose your
Also a
wallet
great city to just start fresh.
yeah.
Like new identity.
Well, if you're looking for a lot of fun and not losing your wallet at the same time, for a mere $5 a month, you can get 2 extra episodes a week of this show on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/softcorehistory.
Woo!
Yeah, bunch of evergreen content. I have bones to pick now because I'm back. I listen to content that we put out, except for the most recent episode. Gabby has not been on almost as much as me. You guys all can't count. You guys are bad at counting. Dan,
we
you get
say
a
that?
pass.
It was close.
Dan, you get a pass. You're Dan. Your beard is back so fast.
I know, I just shaved.
What the fuck is that? This is so fun
It's
to
in
come
that,
back to this.
but it's in that puby middle ground right
I know.
now.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what happens with my beard is it's kind of like the Play-Doh gets squashed into my face
So
and
the-
just grows
There's
back out.
there's gross hair Play-Doh in your jawbone,
Mhm.
and it gets squished
Yeah.
through your pores like stomping shit through a drain in a shower.
When's the last time you did that?
Pooped
Stomp
in the
shit
shower.
through I've never shit in the shower.
Every morning I shit, piss, and cum in the shower.
You've never shit in the shower and like stomped it down
I've never done that.
when you were like
actually.
hungover?
No! What? Are you an animal?
When
Are you a gorilla?
I guess let me Uno reverse card. When was the last time you did that?
It's been within the year.
Oh my god. That's fucking foul.
You've never risked it on a fart and it just
Okay, so like juicy? Are you talking like full turd here? Are you talking like a
log?
loose-
Log.
not logs, but definitely spray.
Okay, but that's not stomping it through the.
I've
fucking-
never pooped in the shower.
I've also
straight up never pooped in the shower.
I've never shit myself in the shower either.
You know, I've had this disease since I was 17
Oh
years old.
yeah.
Okay.
1 minute it's I
Okay.
conquered Crohn's with my mind, and the next minute it's like I only shit in the shower once a month because of my Crohn's. Pick a lane,
Can't
motherfucker.
have it both ways, dude.
It's not once a month. It's
You want equality, but you want me to hold your door?
Once
Fuck
a year
you.
is
it's
too
like
much.
biannual.
God damn, that's so
Wait,
that's
wait,
so
wait, wait,
often.
wait, wait, wait. Biannual. Is that twice a year or once every other year?
Twice a year.
What is once every other year?
Choose your own adventure, Jake.
Okay, so
I choose
What
to
would be
believe
worse?
It's more.
less.
Less is worse.
Because flare-ups, man. You're like, when's it gonna happen? Yeah. So I did my my birthright. To the Floridian one though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I jumped through a rotten manatee off of a pontoon boat.
We
yes.
can't really make the other birthright jokes at this point.
No.
It's almost
No.
poor taste.
No.
What?
It's not poor taste, but no.
How could it be in poor taste now and not 2 months ago when we were making those jokes?
We were making those jokes pre-October 7th.
We were making those jokes
All of
the
our
entire time.
IDF jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before it kind of got
I
sparked
really have
up
to.
again.
I guess I have to plug this real quick. I've never actually been in the IDF, and
You don't have to clarify that.
yeah, I'm sure no one is mistaken.
On
Well,
October,
first off,
Are
I
we
don't
sure?
believe you. I don't believe you.
I woke up on October 8th to a message from Jake that just said, "Get some."
Oh man, that's weird. It was weird. I was really drunk that night. Oh man. So yeah, I was in Florida though. I was visiting some family and some nieces. So for like 9 days of it, I was in Ocala first, and then I stayed on the same beach island, Volano Beach, that I got married on. Rob, you've seen it, and Dan, I'm sure you've been to St.
that an
Augustine
island?
Beach. It's technically like it's an island. Technically, it's like the other side of the intercoastal is like a long strip of beach. So
Okay.
it is an island.
It's
I
a
had
glorified sandbar.
It really is. It's a giant sandbar.
I had no sense of it. You know when you travel to places and you don't really know where you are, what is anything. You're just like, okay, there's hotel and Publix, and there's where Jake got married, and then there's a third location where the fucking the rehearsal dinner was, that I don't even know what was around that.
Oh, okay.
Because
so,
the fucking parking lot is like in a forest almost. It's like a
Yeah.
clearing in a forest, and then it's out to the ocean.
You're
Like,
talking
I don't
about-
know what's outside the forest. I don't know.
so that's actually you were on the intercoastal for the rehearsal dinner. The campground was right next to that restaurant, so we could walk to it from our campground.
Okay.
I was in an RV for 9 days, and I was just exploring a lot. We had a lot of time to be out there. We hadn't taken a true 2-week vacation since I got married for my honeymoon. So we
We
were
go on
like,
vacation all the time.
I haven't had a 2-week vacation.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We had
I
3-week
can't
vacations and a
remember the
1-week
last
vacation.
time I had a 2-week vacation. I mean, like I've had 2 weeks off of work. I haven't gone on like a 2-week trip.
I don't recall ever having 2 weeks off work. Maybe 10 days.
Oh, guys.
What, Christmas or whatever?
Christmas break, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 10 days.
It's like 9 or 10 days.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's shorter.
December to January, February. I've been off work for 3
Yeah.
months and some change, and it's been
You've been on a permanent vacation.
I'm having the time of my life. Okay.
I just assume like your trip was very Florida. You jumped through a rotting manatee. You and your wife made love on a bed of pythons.
Also,
Oh no, that's South Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but when we were at Grand X, we had technically unlimited vacation.
That's a trip.
I never took vacation.
It's a trap. They do that so you feel bad about taking more than 6 days.
You also can't take off content.
It never sleeps.
It never does, especially when you're blogging every
Yeah,
day.
you have unlimited vacation that we have to approve. Although I used it a lot for, I would basically just take Fridays off to like travel for football or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
So, a couple things I got to do that I hadn't done before. So, St. John's River has a ferry going across from north of Jack's Beach to northeast Florida, Fernandina Beach. So, you can drive onto a ferry and just go across the St. John's River. It takes like all of 5 minutes to do it, but it's kind of fun. Like, I'd never been on a car ferry before.
Okay.
And it was named the Jean Ribot. Jean Ribot.
So is this kind of where
This is
you're
a
looking
transition?
to apply, or
No,
you're gonna be a ferry driver?
maybe one day. But no, I don't want it. That seems really complicated. That river's fast.
Just be a boat captain?
That name is important though for later. Jean Ribot. We saw where Fort Caroline used to be, the French fort.
Okay.
Not the Spanish fort in St. Augustine. There weren't a lot of good times there. And then we also checked out South St. Augustine, which I'd never been to before. And there's this inlet called the Matanzas Inlet that is part of the Matanzas River and goes
Okay.
out to the Atlantic Ocean. I would say that is like the most similar to the Keys you can find in like mainland Florida. It looks like that
Clear
one little stretch.
water type of.
Super clear water. If you look it up, it's like crystal blue Bahama water.
Wait, is that the river that has super clear water?
There's a couple in Florida off of the Head Springs. So like Ichituckney has glass clear water.
Yeah.
Rainbow has pretty clear water. Ginny Springs does not have clear water after like about 20 feet from the head spring.
It's full of poo.
It's full of poo.
It's full of gators too.
It's full of
Gator poo.
It's full of tampons. Bottles of Steel Reserve. Ginny
It's a
Springs.
magical place.
Ginny
That sounds
Springs is
like
great.
every river I floated on in Missouri.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
just tampons and Steel Reserve.
But
you don't have to pick up your tube like you do in Texas.
You
and have to
don't.
walk
that is
because the riverbeds are dry.
no, they're deep rivers in Florida. It's all just one river that doesn't
it rains
stop.
consistently
Yeah.
in Florida.
But St. Augustine obviously has a lot of history,
The oldest city in America.
but there's this particular spot which a lot of people don't know about, and that is the last thing I mentioned, the Matanzas River. A couple misnomers too I want to just talk about. and just talking about St. Augustine, but Ponce de Leon first laid his eyes on the coast of Florida on March 27th, so a couple days from now, 1513. A lot of people believe he was in search of a fountain of youth. Do you guys think that?
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of magical thinking about the New World. Why not?
Wrong!
I think he found it, right?
Wrong!
And we've confirmed it with all these, snowbirds coming down, living longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Katie actually has a theory that all the Florida bad press shit started once like snowbirds started moving down and be like, we can't let more snowbirds move down here. It's kind of like the Iceland effect. It's like get all the crime published out in the national media. So
they wanted to prevent people from moving there.
Yeah, because Florida's great. I mean,
Florida's
it didn't work.
Awesome.
Didn't work.
No, it didn't. Well, no, it didn't.
It didn't.
It just surpassed New York as the third most populous state.
Oh, it did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is crushing. Ocala, my hometown, is actually the fastest growing city in the entire country right now.
That's insane.
Which is insane because if you go there, you'd be like, no, it's not.
Just wait.
No, it's not. But it's because it's all empty so far, except for a little bit.
There's going to be so many strip malls.
Beautiful
man.
strip mall.
I just want some good old-fashioned. They already have overpriced apartments with like no amenities that are called like Lamplight District and shit like that.
So
it's like, oh no, it's coming here too.
It's really lame when a city like Austin, for example, explodes because everything then is like new. Like you walk around here, there's no like historic architecture really. It's an ugly city.
It's very gross. Everything looks like shit and is painted gray.
I'm sorry, one of our buildings looks like an owl.
Yeah.
The frost. That is one of the only good buildings, like tall buildings too. I would say.
But I'm excited for Ocala. They're gonna put like a Sonny's barbecue.
There is so many Sunnies in Ocala already. There's like 5.
Maybe a Hungry Howie's will get in.
There's
there.
a Hungry Howie's there. It's not like there's nothing there. It is the seat of Marion County, and it is there's the actual city population is about 70,000 right now. So
It's an absolute gem.
yeah, it's real.
70,000.
Yeah, Metro 350.
How big was it when you grew up there?
Probably half that.
So your town that you grew up in was the same size as the suburb that I grew up in
Yeah,
in terms of population.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably about 40,000 or so when I was growing. I would guess maybe 50.
That'd be a little bigger than University City.
But it's not very big. Metro, it's huge.
Yeah.
Though. It's like 350,000.
Do you guys count the horses?
All of them.
Horses are like.
Oh, I did go to the WEC Center actually too. The World Equestrian Center out there. They just built it. It's massive. It's a huge horse facility. You can bring your dog. So I brought Wheeler.
To run with the horses.
He saw a lot of horses.
Do you run with them?
Did you ride a horse?
I did not ride a horse. No, you can just go out there for free though, and just
look at horses.
I'm
and
actually
just, like,
terrified
watch
of horses.
people jump shit.
Why are you
and stuff like
terrified of
that.
horses?
I got thrown off a horse when I was like 9.
Of course you did.
Almost got stampeded.
Stampeded or stampled?
Stampeded.
Stampled,
Multiple horses.
Stampled's not a word. So
Nah, it's not trampled.
Trampled is the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Mufasa'd.
You got Mufasa.
I got thrown off the horse because we were on vacation and some like French couple. I don't know. They were trying to go Wild West with their shit. They got thrown off their horses, and then it spooked my horse.
Did he buck you off?
He bucked me off, and then all the horses came running back towards me.
Oh, I just assumed you were hungover and pooped on the horse, as one does.
Tried to stamp it through its mane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was 9, so I had an excuse to poop my pants.
You did, yeah.
Did you poop
Kind
yourself?
A little.
I would have.
When you fell
Horses
off.
are so big. Every time I see one up close, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
They're fucking giant.
And I was wearing boxers.
That would
so
suck
it,
ass.
It all came out.
Yeah. Can you imagine just being in front of a cavalry charge? Just like, God.
It's weird. Between the ages of like 9 and 20, I only wanted to wear boxers. But everything other than
Even when
that-
I swam.
Yeah. Everything other than that. Briefs.
You wear underwear with your.
That was the cool thing to do.
It
the
was.
trendy thing.
You wore board shorts without netting and boxers underneath. Yeah.
Okay.
That was dumb.
It was very
Least
dumb.
of a garment.
News to me.
I also had pierced ears.
Dan's honorary Floridian.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, look at him.
The pierced ear thing, my buddy Denny
Diamond
had,
studs, yeah.
my buddy Denny had diamond studs in his ears too. He actually
You can still see the hole. Kinda.
Yeah.
Doesn't he still?
no.
He doesn't have an earring still?
No, he doesn't.
I thought he had a piercing.
he has the holes are still there.
Oh.
They might have closed up enough now that he can't.
No,
do
he
it.
brings it back occasionally for his wife.
his
for their
he's not
anniversary.
married yet. He's engaged. But yeah,
Oh, congrats on me.
he also the funniest thing that ever happened in high school was him getting grounded by his mom for getting his tongue pierced.
Fucking
She made him take it out, and he was furious.
Was it a bar? Did he get a bar? Like a...
I think he had a stud.
A stud piercing? How do you do a stud? Oh, I
like
guess
a-
yeah.
Like a
Do you have like one of those little like spiky guys?
like a ball.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
cool.
like, he was like, dude, my mom's me so mad, but I don't care. And I was like, not worth it
It's gonna hurt.
because that thing's stupid.
Nah, dude. It's for her, man. It's for the ladies.
Do you ever get a blowjay from a chick with a tongue piercing?
No.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't think so.
I have. It was fine.
Was it cool?
Yeah, it was fine.
Neat.
Are you just asking us so you can tell us that you got
Yeah,
a blowjob?
That's such that. That was.
But I
Fucking
I don't
sniff
really
that
care
out.
about that. Wasn't that? I'm saying it wasn't that cool. Like it was really whatever.
Back to Ponce de Leon though. The real reason he found Florida, he wasn't looking for a fountain of youth. He was actually the governor of Puerto Rico for a while, and
Go back to Rob's point. I'm actually
Okay, yeah.
surprised that I never did because you would think
at UCF.
women in
You're-
Florida
UCF
would definitely
I
have
think
their
between UCF and
tongue
just
pierced.
where you grew up,
Oh yeah.
In Philly,
somebody's
yeah.
somebody's
Delco.
got it.
Delco, they would have their backs pierced.
What?
Oh yeah.
The
The little
two
dimples, the
dimples,
dimples in
yeah.
the back. Dude, I saw chicks with like corset piercings and stuff. You ever see those?
No,
It's rings up the side of your obliques.
that's
with ribbons in 'em.
absurd.
Yeah.
There was a girl in college. I didn't hook up with her. A guy in my fraternity was like regularly hooking up with her. She had both her nipples pierced. And what's funny is that I believe now she's a guidance counselor at my high school. And every
Hell yeah.
time I see her on the fucking social media, like
Yeah.
when the CBC will post something, I'll just be like,
One of my exes had her nipples pierced, but she had a job that made sense.
stripper.
Hooters.
Well, she used to be a stripper, yeah,
Okay.
oh.
but no, beer industry.
yeah.
I
checks out.
guess what? You're the Miller Lite girl.
Bottle openers, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pour some sugar on me.
Jesus. Back to Potts though. So he was the governor of Puerto Rico. He wasn't super like people liked him. Like the King of Spain liked him because he was getting shit, but he was also kind of a dick.
Well, weren't they all?
Yeah. So I think they made him. I don't know the exact reason why, but they made him give up his governorship of Puerto Rico. But as a consolation, they were like, "Hey, you can have Bimini," which was at that time fabled undiscovered land near the Bahamas. He was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna take Bimini. That's sick. I'll have Bimini. Sweet."
Yeah, why not? I'll fucking have it.
That's what he was looking for when he discovered Florida on March 27th, 1513. No mention of a fountain of youth occurs in any known documents from Ponce's lifetime, including contracts and other official correspondences with the crown. It didn't actually get connected until many years later after his death, and they think there was just a Spanish court chronicler that was out to discredit him. Like one guy was just
I
like,
feel
"Man,
like
fuck
that
him."
happened a lot. For
Yeah.
sure.
Bimini crickets.
Yeah, and the state was named after the Easter feast, Pascua, Florida, which is the Feast of Flowers. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the Matanzas River. Do you know what Matanzas means?
There's too much setup for this.
I don't. I don't even have a joke for it.
Matanzas means slaughters.
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 The
Multiple.
river of slaughter.
Okay.
It is-
I always like to think that Slaughter Lane here is named after something horrible.
I just call it South Laughter.
No, I thought the person that just named Slaughter Lane just crushed.
Yeah, guy was a machine.
Just pulled ass.
Saying S Laughter is funny because it reminds me of this guy who was buddies with like Madison and stuff who founded TFM. When we went on Nick Bravo's bachelor party. It was in
C anal.
yeah, we were in New Orleans, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll go to the hotel's on C Anal Street."
Central anal. Oh
It was
man.
so dumb. It's just that's just
I
one
know
of those,
exactly who you're talking about too. I'm not gonna name
Instead
drop
of
him,
Canal
but-
Street.
Yeah, C
C
anal
anal.
Street. Yeah.
It's makes me giggle every
That
time.
was very good. It's the perfect joke coming from that person too, because that's the perfect that guy joke.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I wanted to I just was like, man, Katie said, was like, you should really look up what happened here. I was like, okay. Then I did, and it's a fucking nightmare. So, once Ponce de Leon discovered Florida, they couldn't really do anything or settle anything for quite a while afterward. He didn't settle it. He didn't found St. Augustine. Another guy did.
It's an uninhabitable land, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, think about it too. The constant storms, it's mosquitoes. It's hot as fuck. It's humid. But Spanish attempts to establish a lasting presence in Florida failed until September 1565. So a full 50 years later,
Right.
they couldn't settle it for that long.
Well, I mean, when was Jamestown? That was the late 1500s as well, I believe.
Let me see.
And Jamestown was the first permanent English settlement. That was in Virginia.
Yeah,
It took
but
them that long to get into Virginia.
think about it, right? Once you actually finally conquer Florida, you have those built-in
1607.
defense systems.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it
like,
sucks to be here.
Oh, man, there's a couple, like, sci-fi shows that are like that, where it's like once you get through the cloud, or like in Dune 2, like the southern hemisphere is guarded by the storms, right?
Yeah.
You have to get through the storm clouds.
Nobody can live there.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
Florida.
We're not even going to bother to look.
I hope they make the second book. They finished it with the second movie, right? They
Yeah.
finished the first book. Okay.
So, Messiah.
They are. Dune Messiah is coming.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Man, I hope they go to
Yeah, you
God
gotta go
Emperor.
see it.
I hope they go to God Emperor of Dune. I want them to get to the part where it's like 1,000 fucking years later,
Yeah.
and like
Don't spoil anything.
okay.
Just shut your mouth.
nothing will like. Even if I told you exactly what happens, you would immediately want to go see it in a movie. It's insane. But anyway, in September 1565, Pedro Menendez finally founded St. Augustine. Unfortunately for Pedro and Spain, the French settlement of Fort Caroline, just 30 miles north on the St. Johns River, had been established almost exactly a year before St. Augustine was settled.
Ha-ha.
So the French actually settled first.
Mm.
And
Wow.
of the 50 years,
We're giving the Spanish a little bit of a participation trophy then.
oh no,
Well, it's not how you
no.
start.
it's how you finish. That's right, Rob. And
Yeah,
boy,
but we
how do
always
they.
claim St. Augustine's the first U.S. city.
No, it's the,
It's the
first,
first European settlement.
permanent
Permanent.
European settlement. And
Yeah.
what this thing he's talking about wasn't permanent.
It was a fort.
Well,
Mm.
it was there, and it could have been permanent had someone not. How would the kids put it? Unpermanented it.
He unpermanented
Yeah,
it.
instead of unalived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to use that on YouTube now, just like TikTok.
Oh yeah, you can't say
Can't say
the
dead.
suey word, chop suey. So Menendez had not known that the French had already arrived in the area, and upon discovering the existence of Fort Caroline, he said no.
Yeah.
He said no, this will not do.
No.
No. The French, they are a problem.
But to be honest, like, does Florida give the sort of vibe that like a Frenchman could handle it?
Louisiana seemed to.
Yeah,
For
I
a
guess
minute.
it's pretty swampy.
For a minute, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty swampy and gross there.
yeah. But you see, there's more than just the territorial issue. The French were spreading Lutheranism. Ooh,
Propaganda.
bad.
What?
Lutheranism.
The French? They're Catholic.
No,
Not
no.
these
A
ones?
lot of Protestants. A lot of Protestants with this one. This group.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
I mean, New Orleans is Catholic as shit.
It is, yeah. But these French,
When
the
did
Huguenots,
the French side with the English?
Lutheranism would be German. So presumably,
they
said
had Germans with
Protestant.
them too.
yeah. So presumably, the German
He just said Protestant.
Protestant
Lutheranism
is
is
not. Protestant is just
it's
a
an
catch-all
umbrella
for
everything not Catholic.
Yeah.
After the Calvin.
So Episcopalian, Anglican, Lutheran.
No, it's pagan, dude. Everybody else is a pagan.
I agree with
heathen.
you.
Heathen. Everyone else is a heathen.
Savage.
Infidel.
Sure, all those work. Not a pagan, though. But pagan, well, heathen's kind of an umbrella term for Protestants and pagans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
But yeah,
don't correct
Protestantism,
me.
I've
You're
had
a
just-
fucking heathen yourself.
no. We're
I've
different.
had to explain that to someone. I've had to actually explain that to a Protestant before. They're like, I'm like, what religion are you? They're like, I'm a Protestant. I'm like,
Well,
that's not a fucking religion.
That's like saying I'm a Christian. It's like, well, which
it's
one?
worse than that because there are people who
Actually,
are
yeah.
non-denominational.
So do you have a
Christian.
problem with Shogun?
Me?
No.
Why?
Rob. Because the entire time he's just like, I'm Protestant. I'm Protestant.
Yeah, that's stupid. Well, maybe they refer to themselves that then because the English broke off before Lutheranism did. So at that point, they were maybe the only Protestant.
When you're the only one,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
it
yeah,
works.
yeah.
But, I mean, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies in Shogun, but it's still a great show, nonetheless.
It's fine.
Yeah. I've only seen the first 3 episodes, so.
It drove me crazy that until the 1800s, all Japanese people were blonde, and that they didn't include that is outrageous to me.
Well, they're mostly bald in that show.
Yeah,
They-
but
they,
they
like,
still
shave
the
their
blonde
heads.
on the sides.
I don't know what to do with that information.
It's just fake.
I guess I won't
It's
believe it.
completely fake.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say, I guess I won't believe
Asians
it.
have the best hair, too.
They really do. That you can do anything with that hair. It's thick and it's straight, but not thin. You know what I mean? Like it's thick, straight hair. Like Jake's kind of got that, really, honestly.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's great hair.
You have a Japanese head of hair.
I
yeah,
do.
no, he's got a little Jap in him.
Well,
Jewish American princess.
that works. Prince.
He's a
but-
Jewish American prince. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he's a princess.
All right.
Yeah, I
fair
mean,
enough.
carry me. Just carry me. Carry me up the stairs. Why not?
I got you, baby.
Thank you. But yeah, he didn't want that Lutheranism spreading. He considered them heretics and pirates and invaders. even though-
I agreed on all fronts.
Even though we got there second.
Well,
But he marched his troops over and attacked the Huguenot settlement, sparing only women, children, male Catholics, and a few skilled craftsmen.
necessary workers.
It's like you can
It's like
actually
a
use those.
Holocaust. They're like, yeah, well, the necessary workers stay for now.
You can build a nice door. All right.
We'll keep you. We'll
Yeah.
keep you for the time being.
So when the French Huguenot leader, Jean Ribault, Ribault.
Wait, so I'm sorry. Were they Lutheran or Huguenot?
What's the difference?
I don't know.
They were Huguenots. I think they were also Lutherans, though.
Maybe that's the French. You don't need to look it up. We're
No,
softcore history.
No.
I know that Huguenots were a French Protestant situation. I just don't know.
Is that like Citronauts' off-brand cousin?
Yeah, it's like a everyone's following this guy Hugh, and they want to go to space.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, Hugo, right?
Hugo not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait,
No, they're
wasn't there a
Calvinists.
movie called Hugo?
yeah. But Martin Scorsese made it, and he's a devout Catholic.
But he goes to space in that movie, right? It's the moon. It's about the Lumiere movie.
Lemire? Lemuria?
Lumiere.
Lumiere, where the fucking moon gets a
Mm.
thing in its eye.
Is that what it's about?
A Flight to the Moon?
Yeah. I think that's what the movie's about. So there's actually a connection there.
Okay.
So suck it, dude.
Whoa.
Pulled that out of my ass.
Hey, put that in your head and think about it for a minute. Just think about it. Dan's just asking questions and connecting dots.
So he's a Huguenist?
No, Huguenots are Calvinists. So, I mean-
Calvinist is not Lutheran.
then they had some Lutherans with them. I
They maybe
guess.
just had Lutherans with them.
I don't know.
Either way, though, they had Protestants with them. Deserve to die.
Sure. Yeah, this is softcore history, whatever. So when the French Huguenot leader, Jean Ribault, learned of the Spanish presence nearby, before Menendez attacked, he was like, fuck it, we're going to go sail on them. We're going to go get them. So they were going after each other at the exact same time.
Okay. Two
but-
ships trying to
Not
murder
passing
each other in the night.
Yeah. So I guess God had other plans for old Jean, though, because his ships were struck by what was likely a hurricane.
Let's go.
Were they not close enough that they both got hit by the hurricane? How does only one side get hit by a
Or
hurricane?
it was like a tropical depression or something. Well, they were going up from, I guess, when they're coming out of the inlet. They
Again,
probably.
look, you don't need
I don't
to-
know.
Rob, one side had God, the other did
yeah,
not.
right. So God, hit him with a quick hurricane. I buy it. And
Yeah.
yes.
The French force, because of the storm, was lost at sea, leaving Jean and several hundred survivors in two groups shipwrecked with limited food and supplies. One group was about 50 miles south of the Spanish colony in the space now known as the Matanzas Inlet. And Jean's group was much farther southward at Cape Canaveral, which is pretty significantly south. Menendez quickly moved to attack the French party once he learned that they were stuck just south on the shore of the Matanzas Inlet.
And with no food, just little bitches is sitting there.
Just kind of stuck.
It's never
Yeah.
a good sign when your army has no food and no God.
No food, no God, no ships.
No vitamin C.
Yeah.
Scurvy's coming. Or Pedro.
No God.
Pedro Menendez sent 40 soldiers to scout the French position. He himself, with the chaplain, some officers, and 20 soldiers, rejoined the group at about midnight. So there's about 60 of them in total.
It really is funny that a lot of these battles are just like brawls.
Oh, the French wish this was a brawl.
But it's not like, it's not like Waterloo or battles that are happening in Europe at the time or something where it's these grand armies.
They're
No.
It is like
ships.
100 armed guys.
Yeah, it's a fight. It's a street
Yeah.
fight, basically.
But on ships?
No, the
Um,
ships land. They get on land.
Yeah, they go.
Sometimes on ships. Yeah.
they can fight on the beach,
But even
too.
still, that's like it's really like 1-on-1, 2-on-2 maybe depending on the size of
Yeah,
the
that's
ship.
fucking gnarly.
It's very brutal.
Firing cannons at each other.
Right. But it's like, it's tight. It's tight. It's not like the Battle of Trafalgar where you've got these two, or the Spanish Armada to be more timely. Like, it's not like that where it's these grand navies. It's little baby fights.
One boat,
Yeah.
two boat, bunch of dudes.
Ancient boat fights are tight because you just ram each other.
It's like,
And then board.
yeah, and then fight on the boat.
Yeah.
That's actually the most
Just
insane.
fire arrows.
Oh man, I was listening to a book actually. They found arrows from they found a fossilized, not fossilized, I guess old arrow artifact from 40,000 years ago.
That sounds fossilized to me.
Yeah, but they were like, yeah, this is insane. We've been using this shit. It's crazy. We started recording history 5,000 years ago or something.
Yes.
And 40,000 years ago, we were already using wheels and axles and shit. And it's how the majority of our 200, 300,000 year history is fucking unknown.
The craziest had to be when they used Greek fire and essentially just little grenades that they launch at other ships.
Oh, just pots full of unput-outable fire?
And you have to be close enough
Napalm.
to throw at the other ship. So you're going to probably catch a little.
Yeah, you don't want to
Somebody's
burn
dropping
yourself.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's dropping one for sure.
That's got to be rough. I'd be so mad at that guy.
It can't be good. Can't be good. But I mean, no, it's really interesting.
Nothing like burning alive in the sea.
While you're
right?
burning alive
While
while
you're
you're
in the
drowning.
water, yeah.
While you're drowning.
It's like the scene in Arrested Development where Tobias can't fall into the pool while he's on fire because there's the invisible walkway that Job was using for a magic trick. I've never laughed harder at anything on television, maybe.
Oh, that's good.
He's just on fire. And he's like, why am I not sinking? For the love of God, why am I not sinking?
Well, Pedro Menendez pushed forward to the side of the inlet opposite of the French encampment. The following morning, having concealed his men in the thicket, Menendez dressed himself in a French costume with a cape over his shoulder and popped out and showed himself on the riverbank, accompanied by one of the French prisoners he had taken from Fort Caroline.
Oh, no. He's using deception?
He did this in order to convince the castaways by his boldness that he was well supported.
Okay.
So the Frenchmen sent one of their men to swim over to where he was standing, and kind of once he realized what the situation was, he threw himself at his feet and explained that they were just French guys. They were just not trying to fight. And he begged
we're just French. We're just
French, man. We're just French. We're not trying to. We're not at war with Spain.
We just want wine. We just want wine and women. We don't want to fight.
That's essentially what he said. He's like, dude, we're just here, man. Don't worry about it. He asked Menendez to grant him and his comrades a safe transport to Fort Caroline, as they were not at war with Spaniards. Menendez's answer was pretty short. He was like, "Oh, Fort Caroline? Yeah, we've taken your fort and killed all the people in it. So we're at war now."
Yeah, you're at war with me.
Yeah. In a letter from Menendez to King Philip II of Spain, he did this, quote, "Because they had built it there without your permission and were disseminating the Lutheran religion in these your majesty's provinces, that I, as captain general of these provinces, was waging a war of fire and blood against all who came to settle these parts and plant them with their evil Lutheran sect."
I mean, people don't realize this, but legally, war is a single consent affair.
Yeah, no one's they don't have a pre-war meeting where they're like, war?
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 I think it's gonna be war.
I think
Yeah,
so.
one
See
side
them up.
doesn't agree to it. If the other side is still all about it, war's on.
Yeah, war is on.
It'd be funny if Pearl Harbor got bombed and America was just like, no,
Not today.
no.
You call that war?
That is kind of what we kept doing with the Germans when they sunk our ships in World War I and World War II at the beginning. We were just like, actually, honestly, both Wilson and FDR were probably more like, not big enough. Not enough people died.
Yeah, but if you really want to get to somebody, you really want to get at them, just ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want a reaction.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
That's why they asked Mexico to do it, too. Everyone forgets about that.
Man, the Zimmerman telegram is so funny because Mexico had no capability of doing that
Are you
whatsoever.
fucking kidding?
Yeah,
Are you
they're like,
kidding?
join us and you'll get all your territory back from America. Like,
Are you going to come over here and get them?
you won't. Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know how that goes, right? Don't do that.
That was a false flag.
It could have been. I don't hate that conspiracy theory.
I think we sent it to ourselves.
Or we sent it to Mexico as Germany.
Yeah, we captured.
Wilson really wanted to get into the war.
Yeah.
He really wanted to get in.
before he stroked out.
I could also see, the Lusitania being not like maybe a false flag,
Sure.
right? A British sub sinks it.
Oh, we're so good at them. We're so good at false flags.
We've been doing it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying why not?
No, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that 9/11 was one too. We
Yeah.
just got demonetized again. What's up? Unmonetized ourselves. Yay.
No, I think we got unmonetized last episode because we talked about Boosh fucking a banana.
Oh, he went to that well, huh?
Well, I asked about it within the
think-
first 3 minutes.
You
So I
did?
think as long as you avoid it within 5 minutes, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good job.
have like a 5
Once the
minute
clock
buffer.
hits 5, you can start talking about
Anything
raping
you
banana
want.
peels.
Granted, I did talk about stomping my shit down, so I don't know if that's gonna.
Well, you know what?
But
We're still
you,
Make it
you said it was
family
because of
friendly or
your
not.
illness, so they're being ableist if they
Yeah.
demonetize us for that.
After Menendez had convinced the French, because they at first didn't believe him. They were like, "No, you just have this random French guy. Whatever. You don't have Fort Caroline."
You didn't take that shit. You just found a random guy.
Yeah, he showed them some of the spoil he had taken and some of the prisoners he had spared, so he brought a couple more out.
Just to be like, no, they killed everyone.
Yeah, this guy was like, "Oh, okay, we get it. You're not going to take us back there. How about you just let us take our ship out back to France? The next one that comes, we'll all get on it. We'll go." And Menendez replied that he would willingly have given them one had they been Catholics. But sorry, all my boats be doing other Royal Spanish shit right now, and you're not Catholic, so looks like you're out of luck. Sucks
Yeah,
to
maybe
suck,
if
man.
you were, and it's like Catholic from a different country. It's like, it's like a fraternity from a different university. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It's
Like, sure, like you might be from my rival school, but you're in my house, so it's fine.
No, we're gonna fight later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, he was like, "How about you let the next French ship take us, like I said, and you don't have to give us any ships to give us safe passage." And he's
Yeah.
like, "I don't know what you don't get here. No, I'm not doing that."
I'm gonna leave you to die,
Yeah.
you bitches.
To all their requests, he replied with a demand to surrender their arms and place themselves at his mercy, so that he could do, quote, "as our Lord may command me," which, knowing the Spaniards,
Right. The Lord commanded them to do some stuff, which
Yeah.
no judgment, Lord,
it's weird.
but
He really wanted the
it
Spaniards
was
to
gnarly.
maim people constantly.
Yeah.
The
The Lord says your foot's got to go.
Yeah.
He regrets giving it to you.
he really was sad about that.
It is his divine vision.
To murder Frenchmen in the ocean.
It's called free will, baby.
That's true. The gentleman carried back to their comrades the terms he had been proposed, and 2 hours later, the lieutenant returned and offered to surrender their arms and to give him 5,000 ducats if he would spare their lives. Which Menendez replied, "That sum was large enough for a poor soldier such as myself, but when generosity and mercy are to be shown, they should be actuated by no such self-interest," which is essentially the Times way of saying, "I'm not being bought out from doing this, man. I'm doing God's work."
He's
today."
like, I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
all fuck. All right.
Yeah.
Also, I kill you, I take your money.
Right. What do you not get about
It's
this?
like, I just fucking burned down your fort, man. Like, I knocked your, or not burned it down,
You
but
think
I
we're
fucked
leaving
up
the
your fort.
gold? No.
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna let you keep the gold.
Yeah.
It's God's gold.
That's God's gold. That's King Philip's gold.
That's going to be a nice chalice.
Yeah. Again, the envoy returned to his companions, and in half an hour came their acceptance of the ambiguous conditions because they realized, well, we don't have any food, we don't have any boats. This guy's not going to let us do what we want. I guess we have to do what he says.
It's also the fucking new world. There is no rules. No one's going to stop you from doing anything.
No, you do have to report back though. And
I mean,
That
Columbus
takes a
did get
while.
thrown in jail for being too big of a dickhole to Indians,
You
which is
can
weird
be.
because man, they really adopted a lot of his stuff
Because-
within like 5
Because he
years.
went back.
Yeah.
The key is to not go back.
yeah,
Just stay.
Just
Or go somewhere else.
yeah, or go to a new island.
Go around the world. Do Magellan.
Yeah.
You got to be
Just don't go to the Philippines.
Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. You just got to make your own little kingdom in the jungle.
Yeah, it's Heart of Darkness.
Yeah.
You know, you just go
Yeah.
deeper and deeper in it,
Yes.
right? Yeah. The Frenchmen first sent over a boat with their banners, their pistols, their swords, and some helmets and breast pieces. Then 20 Spaniards crossed in the boat and brought the now unarmed Frenchmen over the lagoon that's in between the coast of the inlet. He brought everyone over in parties of 10. Like I said, I think there was just around 100 or so
'Kay.
folks. They were subjected to no ill treatment when they were ferried over. This was
You
to
don't want
not
to tip the boat over.
well, yeah, this was to not let them know about the horrors that lay ahead.
Oh, okay.
They were brought in what is probably the most obvious bait and switch ever. From like, we're not going to hurt you on the boat. They were brought from shore, where they landed on the other side, to the rear of a sand dune, out of sight from the rest of their comrades, where Menendez was concealed from view of prisoners who were crossing in the boat. So Menendez is waiting behind the sand dune. To each party, Menendez addressed the same request. Gentlemen, I have but a few soldiers with me, and you got so many. You got like 100. It'd be an easy thing for you to do to overpower us and avenge yourselves upon us, because we took your fort and killed all those people. So for this reason, it's necessary that you should march to my camp 4 leagues from here with your hands tied behind your back, so you don't try to overpower us. And that's why we're bringing you over in tents.
And what? The French guys were like, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what it said. They're like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
all right,
that's
sure.
Yeah, I would try to kill you for sure. If you
Yeah,
didn't do
well, I
this.
want to kill you, yeah.
Yeah. They're unarmed and they couldn't offer any resistance, so their hands were bound behind them with cords taken from the very arms they had surrendered. So they were like shit wrapped around their swords and stuff like that. They got bound with their own weapon fabric, which is just got to be a humiliating feeling.
Not ideal.
Yeah. At the distance of a gunshot from the dune, Menendez had drawn a line in the sand with his spear across the path they were supposed to follow to the wherever they were
so you
camping
cross
out.
the line and then bad things happen.
Then he ordered the captain of the
He
vanguard.
literally drew a line in the
He
sand.
drew a line in the sand. Then he ordered the captain of the vanguard, which escorted the prisoners, that on reaching the line in the sand, he was to cut off the heads of all of them. He also commanded the captain of the rear guard to do the same. So over 100 men were brought in parties of 10, and one by one were beheaded and stacked just out of sight for the next incoming party.
Perfect.
It was Saturday, 29th of September, 1565, the Feast of St. Michael, when this happened.
It's always good to do it on a feast day, which is actually every day of the year, really.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah, it's every other day. There's like 180 of them.
Like, this will be a glorious feast of St. Michael Day.
Yeah, it's our version of sacrifice.
What is there's one of the famous Shakespearean speeches, the one where the term Band of Brothers comes from. I think they're fighting on St. Crispin's Day.
Who's St. Crispin?
Don't worry about who St. Crispin is.
He's the patron saint of breakfast cereal.
Yeah, he's an elf.
He lives in a tree. But yeah, so the massacre had started around noon, and they wrapped up by sunset.
They
So
do
it's just
anything fun and flirty, like bury a guy in the sand, or
Did I?
did they?
Oh no, they just left those bodies to stack.
Why the fuck would I ask you if you
Left someone to die in Florida. I was surprised.
If
The
you were
battle
just
of
digging a hole in the beach?
the Battle of Agincourt took place on St. Crispin's Day, and it's in Henry V, Shakespeare's play.
Okay. St. Crispin's Day.
Don't care.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there was another group that got lost. This was only the first group of the Frenchmen that they were massacring on this day. Jean Ribault, who was farther down shore with 200 men, was also kind of fucked.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
I think we should check it out.
Like the first party, their only hope lay in a return to Fort Caroline, which he was unaware had been taken by the Spaniards.
I heard a lot of screaming.
What's going on over here?
Well, these guys were completely they were miles away from this massacre going on. They had
Right.
shipwrecked further south near Cape Canaveral. The only thing they had saved was a small boat from their wreck. This was caulked with their shirts, and 13 of the company had set for Fort Caroline in search of assistance, but hadn't returned because they were probably killed.
Yeah, because Fort Caroline stuff happened to them.
Yeah.
I bet some crabs feasted.
Oh, crabs definitely feasted. Do you know the stone crab? You know what
Yeah.
stone crab are?
Mhm.
You know their little claws have the pressure of 21 tons of snap force?
You say that, and I don't really comprehend what that means.
It's almost incomprehensible how much force that is. Like, it could cut your finger off cleanly.
sure.
Yeah. As Raval and his companion, they decided they had to march. They never had another boat come back or anything, so they had to march, which you can march up this very long sandbar. They marched the way northward in the direction of the fort. They eventually found themselves, guess where? Cut off by the Matanzas Inlet, where the Spaniards were.
Oh, and all the bodies.
They didn't see that.
Okay.
Yeah, same spots. So bodies are behind a sand dune.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, they're probably like, man, it stinks over here. Yeah, it's the ocean. Like that's what it smelled like.
Yeah, a bunch of fish just died.
Yeah. At the side of the Spaniards, they saw the Spaniards over on the other side. The French displayed their banners, sounded their fifes and drums, and offered them battle. But Menendez just looked over and basically shrugged it off. He was like, "What? No, I'm not doing that.
I'm not gonna go over there.
Yeah, I'm not coming over. You come over here." He ordered his men to all just start eating breakfast. So they set up shop and just started eating breakfast while the French are like playing
Come
their
on,
trumpets.
pussies.
Yeah, they're like, just eat, boys.
We want to be on defense.
Yeah. So he turned to walk up and down the shore with his two captains in full sight of the French, which the French were like, "What the fuck?"
Whipped out his dick. Started helicoptering.
Took a piss right in the ocean. Ribault called a halt and sounded a trumpet call, and then displayed a white flag, which weird fucking move. Like,
He was
let's
like-
fight. All right, never mind. I surrender.
Okay, I
Wait,
get
wait,
it.
the
I
French,
get it.
The French pulled out the white flag?
Yes, of course.
Very French.
Man.
Um,
Why do
My
they gotta
wife
live
was-
up to the stereotype so hard?
My wife was giving me shit the other day. So I'm like a very fast eater, right? I grew up in a family. I have 3 siblings.
mm-hmm.
It's, 2 of them are boys, type of thing. Where like if there's a good dinner on the table, like a dinner everyone
You got to
likes,
eat fast to get
you gotta
seconds.
fucking inhale it if you want to get seconds, right? Like a pizza. If there's pizza, you don't even understand how fast you have to eat to get seconds on pizza. So it's kind of stuck with me.
You had a very
So-
Home Alone upbringing.
Yes, that kind of stuck
God.
with me for life. And
You're
She was-
not a fucking refugee in a FEMA camp.
it doesn't matter. There's only so much of the like good dinner.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, you don't know how many good dinners you get because when your mother is Irish Catholic,
Which my
Midwestern,
mother is.
Midwestern,
Not Midwestern.
they don't cook so good. Okay. One time my mom cooked a whole chicken. This was like fucking 2 years ago. Cooked a whole chicken and I pulled it out. Like she pulled out and was like, "Okay, dinner." And I was like, this chicken looks weird." And I cut into it and it was still like raw in the middle. I was like, "Wow, this chicken isn't fucking cooked." And then she's like to Courtney, she's like, "He is just so particular." Like that. Like, what the fuck are you talking
You
about?
don't like your chicken medium
Yeah,
rare?
I know. So
Well, at least you married somebody that
Can
cook.
yes,
You
she actually is a good cook.
Okay.
I
I agree, though. Irish Catholic moms probably can't cook that so good.
no, very much not.
My
And
mom, last time I went home, just nuked some awesome tomahawk steaks. Just
really?
just grilled the fuck out of them.
Like overcooked them, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nuked them.
yeah.
Ugh,
Just
that's
like
sad.
charred the fuck out of them. They were so well done.
Oh, a
It's
tomahawk.
Just a good piece of steak,
That's
too.
rough.
And
you
I,
put some ketchup on it?
At that point,
You could.
I threw them out.
all you can do, the best thing you
Yeah,
can do at that
just
point
wait
is get a tortilla and try to like
No,
make
I-
a taco out of it.
I
yeah.
ate it.
Yeah, I
ate
mean,
it.
you can still eat it. It's probably still
It was
tasted,
still really good
tasted good, yeah, but
because
it's
it's a
not,
fucking tomahawk, but goddamn.
not as good as it could have.
But
There was so much potential.
she was like making fun of me for eating fast. And she was like, she lived in France for a summer or something like that. She was like, God, French people would just be disgusted by how you eat. I was like, well, I eat fast, they surrender fast. Everyone does some stuff fast.
Well, the French are
She didn't get
also,
that.
they're going to sit at a cafe all day.
Rob eats fat. The French fast. The French surrender fast. I come fast.
Yeah.
Some people just do stuff fast. All right.
I do a lot of stuff. I come fast.
I also don't think Europe has it wrong.
With what?
Their
Everything.
day-to-day
Chilling, vibing.
vibing.
Do
at
you
it.
know why? Do you know why?
Vibing at a cafe. I
They're
don't care.
chilling, vibing.
I don't care
Why?
what their economy's like. It doesn't mean
Why?
anything to me.
It's not even that. It's because for the longest time they weren't chilling.
Their quality of
vibing.
life is so good.
And
so
now
we need a good war.
they've shifted. It's daddy is here and we take care of everything. So
Who
the
wants
Europe-
to be daddy?
Yeah,
the
dude,
Europe-
being an empire sucks.
It's awful.
You want to be
a protectorate.
You want to be
They're
a
all
former empire.
basic-
Can't we get to Italy?
You want to be a
All of-
retired
Europe
empire.
is Europe is basically an American protectorate. The entirety of Europe.
So what?
What's your point, dude? Day to day, how much does that affect?
Why?
them?
Who's gonna take care of daddy? Who takes care of daddy?
I know, right?
Daddy needs a break.
Daddy ain't ever getting paid back.
Yeah, daddy's
Daddy's never.
daddy
getting
needs
paid
a
back.
neck massage.
Daddy's never. getting
Daddy's
paid.
grinding.
But guess what? Being a parent is a thankless job.
Oh God, we're that parent.
no, we're the
We're assholes. We're like, you know how much I pay for in this house,
Yeah.
and then like
This
people
is
like,
the
"What,
wrong
man?"
analogy.
We're,
We're the-
about Trump
the
just
no,
comes in,
no, no.
tells his like 16-year-old he's
You
charging
gotta
him
pay rent.
Yeah,
this is the wrong
Oh,
analogy. We're the child, They're the grandparents at this point.
Yeah.
And we put them in a home.
They are. They're a fucking nursing home, and we're fucking paying for
Please
it.
don't put me in the room with the schizophrenic Eastern European man. And
Yeah.
they're like, sorry, man, that's the only room we can afford. You gotta live there.
But they're getting freaky. Like all old people in retirement homes.
Yeah, I think we landed this plane. I think we got there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they threw up the white flag. Menendez was like, "Oh, we'll throw that up. Throw that white flag up, boy." And a French sailor swam over to them, and
There's so much swimming.
there's a lot of swimming. It's not that far of a
It's
swim.
exhausting, though.
It's not that far of a swim.
Okay.
But I mean, for me, I'd drown and die. But he returned immediately, bringing the request that Rybal send over someone authorized to state what he wanted. The sailor returned again with a French gentleman who announced that he was Sergeant Major.
Oh, so they didn't put up a white flag to surround it. They put up a white flag to be like, hey,
comms.
we're sending over.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Negotiator.
You ride with you also ride with a white flag to out to the middle or whatever. To negotiate.
We're not killing each other in this moment.
Right.
Yeah. The sailor returned again with a French gentleman who announced that he was Sergeant Major of Jean Ribal, Viceroy and Captain General of Florida for the King of France, which pissed Menendez the fuck off because it's like, no, you're not. I'm in charge here.
Yeah. France don't own a goddamn inch of this shithole.
Yeah.
So he returned headless.
No. His commander, he said his commander had been wrecked on the coast with 350 of his people. Well, I was about 200. And he had sent to ask for boats with which to reach his fort and to inquire if they were Spaniards. Menendez said, "Get this. We are Spaniards. I, to whom you are speaking, am the captain of the Spanish fleet. My name is Pedro Menendez. Tell your general that I have captured your fort and killed your French there, as well as those who had escaped from the wreck of your fleet that were first here." Then he offered Ribal the same terms, which he had extended the first party that Ribal had no idea about, and led the French officer to where a few rods beyond lay the dead bodies of the shipwrecked and defenseless men he had massacred. Just
Oh, he
before.
showed him the bodies?
He showed him the bodies.
Okay.
This is where I don't understand what happened. This is the part where I'm like, you have all of the information now.
Right.
When Jean Ribal reviewed the heaped up corpses of his friends, he asked Menendez to send a gentleman to Ribal. Or, I'm sorry, when the Frenchmen observed that. I jumped around a little bit.
It also might not be his friends. He might hate some of the
Yeah.
guys on the other ship.
Yeah, in the afternoon,
Yeah,
Ribal,
like, sad about him. Nah, that guy was a dick.
that
Yeah.
guy was awful.
He was asking for
Yeah.
it.
Him, he was a good man.
Wish I could have seen that guy.
That was a skilled craftsman. You meant to kill
Yeah.
him? I will mention, though, the Spaniards did spare everyone that claimed to be Catholic, and they sent them to St. Augustine to work forever.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
slaves.
Kind of. They worked the galleys on boats and shit like that.
So
forever.
slaves.
Yeah, boat slaves. Yeah. Catholic boat slaves.
Being a boat slave, not
sounds
great.
worse.
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, Ribal, I'm sorry, he didn't show him the bodies first. He showed the Frenchman that was relaying all this information to Ribal. The bodies was like, tell him this. Tell him to come over.
Let him know.
Yeah. In the afternoon, Jean Ribal crossed over with 8 gentlemen and was entertained by Menendez. The French accepted some wine and preserves,
Oh.
because of course they did, but they would not take more, knowing the fate of their companions. Then Jean,
Like, yeah,
we're
I
not
don't want to
eating your
get drunk
food.
with you. I know how you were fucking roll.
We're not eating the food, man. We're not. Then Jean, pointing to the bodies, asked again for some ships to return to France. He's like, hey, maybe we can just get out of
Just
here.
go. Well, we're Catholic. Was he Catholic? Was Jean Ribal Catholic?
No, he was Protestant.
Ugh.
So within, he left
Kill him.
once Menendez was like, I'm not giving you boats. Within 3 hours, he was back again. He offered 100,000 ducats on the part of his companions to secure their lives. But Menendez gave him the
Set
same.
exchange rate now,
I-
100,000 ducats.
A lot. Probably a lot. I would imagine it's a lot.
Actually, it's shockingly, it's only about $100.
Yeah, it's like yen.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're watching like Physical 100 and it's like 300 million yuan, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it's like, oh, it's $57,000.
Yeah.
You're like, what? But
That's like last week's episode. The families of Unit 684, they were awarded like $600 million in Korean. It was like 250K.
yeah, yeah,
It's a couple Walmart gift cards.
yeah. 300 million Korean is I think like $100,000 or something like that.
It was something like that.
Yeah.
Split amongst all the families.
Yeah. So once Ribal was like, hey, I'll give you 100,000, and it's just like, when it comes to generosity, this is not for me to decide with money. it's God's decision.
It's up to God.
Yeah, so he was
And
not
he's speaking through me, baby.
he was not backing down. As the evening was falling, Jean again withdrew across the lagoon, saying he would bring his final decision in the morning. When the morning came, Ribal returned with 6 of his captains and surrendered his own person
Damn.
and arms.
Do you think
to
that
Menendez.
inspired Tom Petty's Won't Back Down?
Pedro
Florida's own.
Menendez? Yeah.
Florida's own.
Won't back. The French were just backing down the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it'll go different for us.
Unlike those idiots.
Yeah.
They're
I've got a little bit of...
They're trying to take charges and pick up basketball.
Yeah. Also, just like, fuck, man. Just, they can't attack you, right? These Spanish can't project force currently, right?
No, they can't. They have 150 men at this time because this is 12 days. The second group showed up 12 days later,
Okay.
and they had brought in reinforcements,
Okay.
basically. So they had 150 people there. But Jean Ribal had 200.
So the Spanish cannot project force on them.
No, when they were taking breakfast, I forgot to mention this, they set up in a way that made it look like they had a lot more people.
The Spanish did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looked a lot more evenly matched.
They also
and shit.
laced all the food
Well, the French didn't eat the food.
and all the drink.
They just got drunk. And
just
they
got
were
drunk.
seeing double. They're like, oh, my God, this must be
600
300 people
yeah.
here.
Yeah, so when Ribal went over, before they finally accepted the terms, like 70 or 80 dudes of his 200 were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
There's bodies over there.
Right.
And they tried to kill a couple people. Like, they tried to revolt in that.
Right.
and
Mutiny. Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that got kind of snuffed out, and they all just ran into the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's about 140, 150 people left overall. They decided to surrender, though, and Menendez then turned over Jean Ribal to Menendez's brother-in-law, Gonzalo Solí de Mares, and to Captain Juan de San Vicente, with directions to kill him.
To kill Revolt?
To kill Ribal.
Of course.
Yeah. Ribal was wearing a felt hat, and the Captain Juan de San Vicente, was like, hey, give me that hat. I want your hat. Which Jean Ribal was like, all right, here you go. And then the Spaniard said, you know how captains must obey their generals and execute their commands? We must bind your hands. He's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's because he agreed to the terms of we just have to keep you, tie you up.
Right.
Which I guess they didn't know the circumstance of the first massacre. Obviously, they weren't there.
I thought they did.
No, they knew
Well,
that people had died. They didn't know that
okay,
they were
yeah.
falling for the same exact trick.
Okay.
When this had been done, and the three had proceeded a little distance along the way, Vicente gave him a blow in the stomach with his dagger, and then Maris thrust him through the breast with a pike, and then they cut off his head, as his men in groups of 10 were beheaded behind the sand dunes.
I mean, good Lord.
One by one, groups of 10 were beheaded behind the sand dunes. So we're talking...
At this point, I mean, are their blades even sharp enough?
I can't imagine they are. But, so at this point, they've killed about 250 to 300 Frenchmen one by one behind a sand dune.
Yeah, but this guy's a system captain.
Yeah.
He's got the same move. He does it over and over again.
Right,
It's the air raid of massacres. It's just like, spread them out wide, spread them out, going for the kill.
Inflated stats. Once
Agreed.
somebody figures it out, it's like the Wildcat for the first couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
man.
like, they're going to run the ball.
Darren McFadden in the Wildcat, when they first started running that shit.
Oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
They run the ball.
Darren
They-
McFadden's
they
going
run the
to
ball.
get it. Yeah.
They don't throw.
Or Felix Jones in another spot.
Or
which
I
might
believe
scare
Peyton Hill is also up.
It was
Or
mainly.
Reggie
I'm
Fish.
talking mainly about the Dolphins when they
you. Yeah.
implemented it in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
It was unstoppable.
It was crazy. But yeah, ever since the 12th of October, 1565, when Jean Ribal and the larger part of the French Huguenots who had survived the wreck were massacred by Menendez, the inlet where the deed occurred has been known as Matanzas, again meaning slaughters in Spanish. What was that? What were you doing with your hands?
I'm
Dancing.
just saying, talking to the microphone.
Was I not?
Yeah, you always side mic it
Well, here.
when you read. Yeah, there you go.
Again, that means slaughters in Spanish. And to this day, in that inlet, if you drive over there, it is the most chill-looking spot in the world. Everyone's vacation home is there.
Very pretty place to die, I guess.
I would love
it-
to just knock on someone's door there because I was there. I was just like, oh, these are beautiful homes and stuff like that. Just be like, 300 men were beheaded like right there.
I bet you they do. It'd be funny if one house was just haunted to fuck.
I was gonna say like, you ever think someone goes like to an Airbnb or like vacation rental and they're like, man, the vibes in here are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's like a bunch of headless ghosts and people screaming in French
Right.
every
Does
night.
it feel like do you feel like you're hearing 300 Frenchmen scream? Because I do. This could be the Mai Tais talking. But
So some people thought Menendez was a big old dick about this because he went against his word. He was saying, hey, they were like, hey, you kind of didn't say you were going to kill them. You tricked them and killed them behind a dune like a coward.
No honor.
King Philip was like, listen, yeah, it was kind of a dick move, but do you really want Protestantism spreading in Florida? And everyone was like, that's a really good point, King Philip. So Menendez never got any shit for that, really. Some people didn't like him. Some people thought he was dick,
Also,
but-
flags and banners fly forever.
yes.
You never heard about this goddamn fort.
Fort Caroline?
No.
Yeah, actually, Fort Caroline was, once it was taken by the Spanish, was burned to the ground. I
mean,
in retaliation, I believe, by the French later. Or it might have been around the same time. I don't know. There's another whole, they renamed it San Mateo. They burned it. It got burned. Something happened. I don't know. And also, the Native Americans were very in cahoots with the Spanish. So they were ratting out on the French the entire time.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because the Native Americans liked the French better up north.
It was like the Temecula or I forget the name of the tribe. It wasn't the Seminoles, but they were, they were in cahoots with them. But I just thought it was interesting just seeing a bunch of beautiful vacation homes. It's like, oh, Matanzas River. My father-in-law was like, yeah, look that up. See what happened here. It's like, oh, heads will roll.
I knew this was coming. Whenever you go somewhere,
I talk about
you
it.
immediately talk about it after.
Yeah, because it's fresh.
Yeah. Like the West Texas episode.
I love that episode. The Zone of Silence,
Mm-hmm.
where they just decided to, no big deal. We're just taking 200,000 tons of sand from this one spot to study it in the Pentagon. Real important.
Nah.
No, that's not sketchy.
I do think that there's. I don't think that the Spanish commander is a liar.
Menendez?
Yeah, you can only lie to people.
Not to heathens.
Yeah,
You can only lie to Catholics.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a lie if they're not Catholic.
What'd you guys learn today?
It's kind of like when the Pope said you can't use ranged weapons against fellow Catholics.
Right.
That was calculated.
You can't use lies
Unless it's him.
against Catholics. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Well, the Pope can do it.
You can always move the goalpost.
That's what they're for.
What I learned today, it's actually important to know that I think a lot of people don't realize that as far as colonialism goes, we weren't just slaughtering the natives.
Oh, no.
We were
Everybody could get it.
Yeah,
Everybody was getting it.
yeah.
That and what I learned today was Florida, the home of fraud, was built on kind of a backstabbing scheme.
A little bit.
Yeah, sounds about right.
In Poco.
Yeah.
In Poco.
The home of, like identity fraud, whatever, credit card theft.
Oh, elder abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miami's built on cocaine. We all know this because of Billy Corbin. But, yeah, who's today's Hitler?
Menendez.
Menendez. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, he's Hitler
I mean,
for sure.
Catholicism aside,
Yeah, he beheaded a lot of
fully Hitler.
What are squatters' rights like in Florida?
squatters' rights.
Yeah.
Uh,
In New York, it's 30 days.
with DeSantis, probably not that many.
Yeah.
He probably got rid of that. But with
I
Rick
would
Scott
hope.
before him,
Like Florida and Texas, I feel like you just shoot the person.
yeah, Florida
If
also
you,
has.
all you have to do, if someone is legally renting on your property, all you have to do is walk into that property, say, "I evict you," and then you can immediately shoot them.
yeah, you have to teleport out.
Yeah.
Or else you get shot.
He's coming right for us.
The thing I totally forgot about too in Florida is there's no requirement for concealed carry, so everyone
It's the
can
same as
see-
Texas.
No, I don't think so. Is
yeah,
it?
Texas is
Did they
that
just
way now.
pass that?
It's pretty new. Yeah.
Oh, it's so.
I think it's
dumb.
been around a couple of years.
I hate that.
but it's fairly new. It's
I-
especially for Texas. Like you would think that existed longer
I
here.
have
You
no
would
problem.
think it would never have gone
Right.
away.
I have no problem with open carry because,
You can see it.
He's
Open
gonna go.
carry is honestly stupid.
well,
You should not want because that just gives someone an excuse to crack you on the back of the head and steal your gun.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't.
Oh, personally doing it? Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
think about every time you see a cop, you want to reach down for that gun.
Oh, it's the first thing you want to do.
People with gun rights are gonna be like, oh, whatever. You should be able to do whatever you want with a gun. But like, concealed carry is fun because now every cop gets to assume you're armed.
Yeah.
That's not what you want. Not in Florida, at least. God, also just FHP.
Well, everyone in Florida is armed.
Yeah.
It's a safe assumption. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I learned about when I was on my little trip to Florida, see my little nieces. Actually, the babies were so young; they were like less than 3 months. At one point, we were at the Airbnb one of Katie's sisters rented. I had to do hawk duty because there was a big hawk flying around.
Good Lord.
And the baby was like out there and small enough.
So
So
you
I-
chewed the food and spit it into their mouth?
No, I didn't baby bird. I just shook my fist at big birds as they flew
A
by.
hawk would not be able to pick up the baby.
They could dive at it though.
They could dive at it. But
Are they just crawling in
they
the
wouldn't be able to
backyard?
pick it up.
The hawks?
No, the babies.
Babies don't move that young.
No, they don't move that. They were sitting in the bouncy thing.
Yeah.
Bouncy chair. Yeah.
Oh.
But the hawk could at any point just swoop down.
I mean,
you
in
wouldn't be able
theory,
to carry it away.
It would hurt
It would
significantly
hurt
hurt
it.
the
That would
baby.
fuck it up.
Yeah.
You don't think you could pick it up by the little...
Not a
Hawks
hawk.
weigh Hawks max
Melon
out
head?
at like 8 pounds.
What's
Hawks
the-
are not that big.
No, they're not. They're like, this
Eagles are
the-
huge.
An eagle could maybe pick up a
A
newborn.
condor could fucking fly with 2 babies.
Yeah.
probably.
But a condor is like a vulture.
It is, and it's South American, I believe.
There's
Do we-
California condors.
Do we have California condors?
Yeah.
And we'll get to vultures on the
But
Patreon.
anyone who's like, oh, a hawk could eat my dog, like my tiny little chihuahua, well, maybe a chihuahua, like a 5-pound chihuahua, maybe. But-
Owls are also big.
what?
Owls are huge.
So,
Some owls
they
are.
look big.
No, they are big.
Poundage wise, I don't
Depends on the owl, actually.
I think like a snowy white owl is pretty big.
I believe they are as well. I think those big barn owls are like this tall, too. That's a lot of people mistake those for aliens because they're
Yeah.
about like this.
They're
They're like
huge.
3 feet. Yeah.
Birds are bigger than you think.
A hawk can only carry about 4 pounds. Actually, large eagles can only carry about 5, but it's not about what they can carry. It's about what they can kill and eat right there on the spot, too.
Okay. The largest owl on Earth is Blackiston's fish owl, and it is between 6.5 to 7.9 pounds.
What? There's no way.
While the female actually gets bigger, it's up to 10 pounds.
The great gray owl is like about 2 feet tall.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean it's
Are they fucking hollow?
yeah, a lot.
Well, no, they have hollow bones.
Hollow bones and the
Roots.
It's a lot of the mass that you see is just feathers.
It's plumage.
Dude, that's why there were dragons before. Their bones were hollow, disintegrated.
That would make sense if they were related to dinosaurs, right? If there's like the bird dinosaur connection, if there was still like large flying halfway throughs,
Plus, their acidic stomachs.
that's how they make the fire.
Yeah.
That make that fire.
Yeah,
But that's how the bones go
that's
away.
also how the
But
bones
again,
go
though,
away.
you cannot pick something up that weighs the same as you or more than you
That's
to
not-
fly away.
Oh, to fly? Yeah, it's.
An animal can't.
You don't know that.
What if you had really strong wings?
They don't do it.
Why not?
They just don't.
Why
How
don't
much
they
did a
work out?
pterodactyl weigh?
Actually, only 9 pounds.
That's sick.
It was all skin,
We're about to find out.
flappy skin. No, they're huge.
Oh, Jesus Christ. They had a wingspan of about 30 feet and weighed around 550 pounds.
Yeah, they'll pick you up.
Fuck that.
That's a 747.
Yeah, and then just getting eaten in a pterodactyl nest.
Yeah, they're not accidentally nosediving. Oh, 737, my bad. Well, that's it for the show, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Please please subscribe.
Again,
To our Patreon.
patreon.com/softcore history. This week, we're actually going to talk about vultures
Are we really?
a little bit.
A little extra segue. Yeah. Also leave a review. Dan needs more reviews so we can drink and get drunk on the show.
We're almost there.
What
We're like
we at right now?
35 away.
Yep.
That seems so
Getting
far
close.
away.
It's so far away.
Yeah, just someone make 35 alts and let Dan drink.
I want to drink.
We can't do it because that would be fraud.
And I just don't care.
I also don't care enough to like hire a click farm to do it.
no,
Yeah.
no.
I want it to be legit.
I don't have the energy to send $14 to Indonesia.
No. Plus, you don't want to send them any money because they could probably figure out a way to send themselves more.
Yes.
But yeah, that's it for our show. Thanks so much for listening. For Dan Regester and Rob Fox, I'm Jake Goldman.
You just got sauce served.